right. All right. Let's get rolling. So the marketing discussion today is fueling your marketing engines to drive your business forward. Thanks, Roger, for pulling this together. Super exciting for Andy and I to present some marketing materials. We're a little bit passionate about marketing and business, and I don't know, maybe me more so than Andy, but he loves to talk, so we make a good team. So we'd love to make sure that this training session is really something that you guys can take away, some actionable marketing tactics to be proactive in marketing your business, your product, your service. So we want to make sure that as we go, if you have questions, please ask away. One thing about marketing is that it's very unique to each business. So some of the materials that we'll go through might not apply to your business. Marketing is a very personalized approach to specific businesses. It's not a one size fits all. So it's very important that your marketing tactics, your plan is really personalized to your business to promote to your customers, whatever your product or service would be.
So a little bit about us. We'll start with the company. Tanya started the company a few years ago. And really, the story goes that she spent several years, she doesn't like me to say how many years, in marketing, buying, and merchandising for major companies in the Twin Cities market, and then also down in Tennessee for a few years when we first got married. And in those years, she kept hearing from different people as she'd run into them all about, hey, what do you do for this for marketing? Or what do you suggest for this? And eventually she started to realize that she could be impacting a lot more companies and helping a lot more people. And so she started Generate 360 Consulting. And from there, that's where the marketing started. And so we now work with small to mid-sized businesses. They range anywhere from a very brand new startup company where we developed their whole logo all the way up to a dealership that has 350 million in sales and 9 locations. And we're monitoring their website and doing all that fun stuff and marketing and everything else for them. So that's kind of a little bit about the business. A little bit about me. I worked for Target Corporation for many years and several other companies in executive roles, and then nonprofits in executive roles, working in the development area and that kind of stuff, helping with managing of people. So my background really is in the first 2 of the 3 pillars that we believe in with working with companies when we work with them. And those 3 areas are strategy, synergy, and traction. So my area is really about strategy and making sure that the company understands that it's all about planning. It's all about having a business plan. It's about thinking 1 year to 5 years out. It's also making sure that you have actionable items and you're tracking those and goals and that kind of stuff. Then also working with companies in synergy, and synergy is all about the people. You can't get anything done without people. So making sure the people are in the right place, the right time. You have the leaders that are effective and helping and inspiring and doing that kind of thing. And then it's driving that vision and that kind of stuff. And then traction is all about marketing. And so those are the 3 things that we really focus on. The first 2 is a little bit more in my wheelhouse. And as Tanya said, the last one's in her wheelhouse, but a little bit more about her and she can share.
Yeah. Prior to Generate 360, I had about 20 years experience in corporate America, Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 e-commerce companies, as well as nonprofit. All of my roles were in marketing and technology leadership roles. So I was super excited to start Generate 360 and finally go off on my own. I'm very entrepreneurial, so I wanted to have my own business for a long, long time. Andy was a stay-at-home dad for a little bit, so it gave me the opportunity to work and kind of find the niche in corporate America and now bring all that experience to Generate 360. We also are very big about giving back to our community. So I have always worked at the kids' schools. whether it's St. Mary Catholic School in White Bear Lake, Frassati Catholic Academy, and now Hillmarie. So I've worked in marketing on the committees, on the boards. Right now I'm currently on the Hillmarie Board of Trustees. So it's a little bit of a way for us to give back to the community.
And then just real quick, that's a picture of our 4 kids, Maddie, Luke, Adam, and Bella. They range from the ages of 20 down to 15. So our house is a little bit busy right now, and our driveway and garage door work very well. Because it's a revolving door. Our neighbors always laugh. They go, we counted one time. We think we saw your garage door go up and down at least 15 times in one day. So we are a very active family. But like Tanya said, we really believe in giving back. And so service is really important, as well as our faith, of Catholic faith. And that's one of the reasons why we've paid for private education in the Catholic faith for all 4 of our kids, because we felt that it was very, very important for us. So, just a real quick brief of what we're going to go hit on here. So we're going to start out with marketing, creating strategy, synergy, and traction. We're going to hit on press and media, branding and graphic design, digital advertising, and website design. And each of those will have a little bit of area, and give us about 10 minutes in each of those areas, we hope, is what our goal is. We thought it'd be kind of interesting maybe to just quickly have everybody introduce themselves, and then maybe what business you're with. And then if you have a question that you want to make answered today, or a focus area that you would like to hear about, we'll try and make sure that we answer and hit those as we go. So in no particular order, but Jerry, you're the first one I can see on my screen. So if you want to just jump in and maybe introduce yourself, the company you're with, and if you have any question that you want answered. You're on mute, Jerry.
Thank you. Yeah, basically, have my own business. I represent 7 different companies in terms of marketing their Medicare product. I don't work as active as I did in my 40s and 50s, et cetera. So I still want to take care of the customers I have, but I'm not as interested in working as hard as I did 20 years ago. Then I did recently add a insurance product that's faith-based. I'm sorry, it's not insurance, but it's faith-based sharing. So I'm in Inver Grove, go to St. Joe's in West St. Paul, have 36 grandchildren.
Awesome. Somebody else want to just quickly jump in? And Paul, Emily, anybody?
I'll jump in real quick.
All right, go for it.
Barry Bear. Kind of been working with Roger on and off since he started thinking about this, and it's really great to see how far it's come. I own a company called Recovery Support Network. We are a developer and publisher of curriculum and content to support people to stay recovered from their addictions to drugs and alcohol. We'll be launching our MVP in about 4 months, online support group with a workbook, and then keep adding products and services as we go. I have a previous engagement I'm going to have to cut out at about 12:30 for another event that I was booked, but I wanted to at least get started. I've been in sales and marketing for when I had a lot of hair, and yeah, that was a while ago, but there's always new stuff going on, and this whole social media world is like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything.
Right. It changes faster than we can keep up with it, for sure.
Yep. So
awesome. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Luke.
Oops, he might have.
How about that? Luke Bauman, Bauman Insurance, also branded as Bauman Financial. And I've been in the insurance business for well over 20 years. I started out with Catholic Aid, and I was there for a collective total of about 13 years, and I've been on my own since then. And do life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, property, and casualty, so I can pretty much take care of any of your insurance needs, whether it's for the business or the home or the auto or yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Let's see, Cade Hansen.
Yep. My name is Cade Hansen. I run Cade Hansen Media, and I work as a freelance cinematographer and photographer, providing affordable, faithful, and professional video services to couples getting married, corporate work, nonprofit, educational, and a whole lot of other fields in the media sphere.
Okay, awesome.
For let's see. I wish we could see everybody, but we can shrink it down. So real quick, do me a favor, and for sake of time, just give us your name and if you have a your business name, and then if you have a question that you want answered in this training.
I'll go next real quick. I'm Chris Mattson. My wife Lisa and I are Mattson Photography. We photograph weddings, portraits, families, seniors, that kind of thing. And don't really have a specific marketing question. I'm here to soak in it all.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Anyone else?
Yeah,
My name's Christian. Oh,
Go ahead,
we
Christian.
both just go. We're both with Teach for, so it's funny that we both interrupted each other. My name's Christian. I work with Teach for Christ. I've been there for the past 6-7 months as the marketing manager. And my question would be, what are some tips that you have specifically for marketing on social media to, I guess, combat the decline in organic reach without immediately going to paid advertising, which would be what most people would think.
And then can I piggyback on that? I'm the executive director for Teach for Christ. And so we're recruiting recent college graduates to serve as missionaries to give a year serving in Catholic schools as teachers or apprentice teachers. And so recruitment is a huge issue for us. So I'd like to know kind of how do we boost our website visibility if they're doing a random Google search, how do we come to the top and just kind of get our presence known and to the right people?
Okay. Anybody else want to go quick?
This is Paul Shadowski. I own and run the Criterium Engineers office here in Minnesota for about the last 10 years. We help homeowners and realtors figure out structural evaluation questions on their homes. And the biggest thing, my question, I guess, is best practices for email marketing.
Sorry, best practices for email marketing?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
I'm Amy Miller with Our Family Encounter, and my biggest request is how to get my name out there so people know who I am.
Got it. Good.
Hi, my name is Emily Abe of Emily Abe Creative, and I don't really have any specific questions today. I think I know enough to get myself started in marketing. I just need to find the time to do so because I am a one-person show. I'm here to absorb knowledge.
Got it. Thanks for joining us, Emily.
Okay, I think, is that everybody? Susan, Mark, are you on?
Sure, yes, I'll say this is Susan Winnicky, and I'm kind of here in a dual position. I'm just trying to absorb as much as I possibly can. I want to help market Holy Spirit Academy High School, which is a newer high school in Monticello, as well as my own business, which is retirement income planning. So just really kind of in the infancy stage as far as trying to figure out the marketing plan. So thanks for having this.
Okay.
I think, Kelsey, are you on? I saw you join if you're still on.
Yes, I'm making brownies with my kids, and it's very loud over here.
Nice.
I'm Kelsey. I don't have any specific questions either. I'm just joining to listen. I work as an ambassador for Noonday, but I do have just a kind of dream in my heart one day to own a little shop to sell like goods for the contemplative homemaker. And so, and I've been getting to know Tanya a little bit and just wanted to hear what you guys do. And I figured I would learn from it as well. So
Awesome.
Great. Thanks for joining us.
yeah.
Mary May, I'll just jump in. I'm actually in the job market right now, but I'm looking at positions that would involve some marketing. And so I really was looking forward to a refresher on some marketing principles.
Perfect.
Awesome. Feel free to jump in too.
So here's how this works for us, you guys. We're going to just keep rolling through. And if you have questions, it's going to be hard, obviously, on Zoom. So if you could just write them down, and at the end, we'll have time for questions. So far, all the questions that we have, I believe we are going to hit in this training. So we originally thought we'd have you guys wave or stop. And if it's something that's really important and you want to just quickly interrupt us, go ahead. It's not that big of a deal if you do. But for the sake of time and keeping everybody, we've got 40 minutes here to roll through this. And so we just want to be respectful to your time. So here we go.
All right.
All right. So the first part of it is we're going to talk just real quick on the 4 areas that I feel, or that we feel, for your marketing and creating strategy, and is through your strategy, synergy, and traction. I mentioned business plan and vision. We really feel it's important that a company sits down every year and talks about what their vision, their plan, and where they want to go in the future. So having a 1 year to 5 year to a longer term, whatever works for your company, but you just have to have that vision. And so many times we meet with customers, they don't realize that they feel like they're going all over the place. And they need to understand that they have to really sit down with their leadership team. And I really recommend an off-site, get everybody away from the business and actually spend a day or whatever much time you need to really push through and get a business plan going and vision. And if you're a one-man show, then go sit in the library. Do not sit in your office and take phone calls. Do not sit on the computer and take emails. Just go sit for an hour or go sit for a couple hours somewhere quiet and really think about your business. Where do you want to go next year, and where do you want to go for the future? And then come up with action steps and things that you want to do in those areas. Then it's about people. And if you're a one-man show, it's all about you. Do you have the time to do everything that you have on your plan? If you don't, if you have extra people, then it's about which person's doing what and how are you going to communicate and then effectively get them inspired to do that. And one of the ways that we push for that is to allow them to say, you know what, we have this in mind for where we're headed. What do you think is a good idea to make that happen? And let them be part of that process. And you will get them to be committed to it more than you will get. It's better than having them comply. So many times we sit down with a customer and we start talking about, we recently did this with a customer who has a product that he's trying to sell on e-commerce. And when we started talking about Google Ads and started talking about some of his customer base, he hadn't really thought about who exactly what his customers are. And so we really sat down and started doing some Google Analytics, and we'll talk about this in the future. But Google Analytics and figuring out what customers buying and who is it that's buying really helps. And figuring out, we have another customer that has several people that are buying parts, but who do you want to focus on when you're doing your marketing? For this parts company, they have mechanics to buyers that buy in bulk and sell it and resell it. And so when they're doing sales ads or they're doing different things in social media, it's really understanding who you're trying to focus on and who you're trying to go after, because it's going to be very key to those messaging and the themes that you put out there. And then the last thing is budget. Marketing is not cheap. If you think you're going to be able to put out an email and you're going to get millions of dollars in sales and that's all you've got to do, it doesn't happen. New companies, they figure it's about 35% of your budget goes to marketing. In an existing company, you're looking anywhere between 12 to 15, 18% annual budget. And so a lot of times when we sit down with customers, they want to do something and they think about marketing, but it's very difficult because they start seeing the dollars and it's an alarming figure. I hate to say that. But you really, as a business owner, you have to understand the button. But you really, as a business owner, you have to understand the budget. And if you're going to sell something like a pen, and we're going to go out there and market the heck out of it, and you're selling 10,000 of these a month, and you have a goal of getting up to 100,000 by the end of the year, all four of these things really play into that. You better have the people that are going to be able to ship all that stuff, people that are going to be buying it and sourcing it. You better know your customers so that you can get after them. And then you better have the budget, because eventually you're going to have to increase people to make to package and to make those pens and do all that fun stuff. So all four of those are very key things. And that's kind of where we head into the marketing side of the thing. And our biggest goal, we saw this by Zig Ziglar, and he's a well-known business consultant, writes many books, but he had the sentence, and it's on your screen. Success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. And so we really believe in that. We believe in that there's always opportunity out there, but you better be prepared to make it happen. Any questions? Sweet,
right.
I did that well then.
Nice job. All right. I would rather be doing this in person, honestly, because I'm not a big person. I'm not big on talking to myself in front of a screen. So anyway, here it goes. This slide talks about press and media, and it's all about winning omni-channel communications. Really, when you're looking at press and media, there's really a full circle of, okay, where do I go? Where do I advertise? What's free? What's paid? We're going to talk about digital advertising a little bit later. This is a little bit more on kind of your traditional format, print and media. So print and digital, there's a lot of options, newspapers, magazines, billboard, radio, TV, news stations, digital, your website, the internet in general, blogs, social media, videos. So you've all heard about these. Really, one of the big things right now, the big pushes, is video. I heard a stat recently, in about 5 years, people are going to be online purchasing by video. So they're going to want to see videos. They're going to want to buy video. They don't read a lot of copy about your product and service. They'll probably look at pictures more, but really video is going to be the king down the road. And I think a lot of you are probably already on this bandwagon as well, and doing videos. The next thing is storytelling. I wanted to make sure we talked about this briefly because it's another thing right now that's really, really hot in marketing, especially this year with COVID, but even the prior year before COVID hit, storytelling was really important. So people want to build a relationship with you. They want to hear about your background, not just your business. Like, why are you in marketing? But tell me about yourself. Tell me something fun. As marketers, I'll be honest, we like to push the envelope a little bit. We are still authentic and genuine in the message, but we might try and tell a story and really pull out, some of those things that kind of pull at people's heartstrings. But storytelling is really a big part of our relationship building. And I think most of you, as I'm kind of looking at our list of people who are on the call, relationship and word of mouth marketing is probably super important for you. We're all selling something, right? Whether it's insurance or photography. I mean, we all have services and products that we're selling. So just keep in mind that storytelling really can do great things for your business.
Real quick on that, this also hits on very big on social media, and if you're doing blogging and that kind of stuff, sharing a story, or if you're going to post Luke, you're in my screen. So insurance. If you're going to post something on social media about your business, it doesn't just be hey, I sell car insurance and your website. It's about, hey, here's a story of my customer, Jim, and what he said about my company, because, I gave great customer service. I got him a great price, great coverage. It's telling a story on how you helped this person get the coverage. And then what happens there is it allows the person to read, and Well, Tanya's just engaged in the story, and it's not just an ad that they quickly look and delete or go through their Facebook feed and move on. You want to catch them with a story.
Yeah, great point. Next is industry, business channels, networks. These are industry associations, trade shows, as well as our networks, Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, and clubs. These are all probably, I mean, each one of you, I'm sure, is a member of an industry association. You probably attend trade shows, if not this year because of COVID, maybe in the past, and hopefully in the future. Hopefully trade shows will come back. Because it's a great way to get in front of your customers and potential customers. Driving lead generation at trade shows is really important. So anyway, I wanted to make sure we chatted about that briefly. And then lastly, public relations and press releases. The communications are really, really important, that you have professional communications about your business, what it is you do, what you sell. We have done some press releases. We write them, we distribute them, push them out online to the media, as well as to our network, and then as well as to our clients' network too. The picture at the top of this page is actually from the State Fair. One of our clients debuted at the State Fair 2 years ago, so it was a really, really big deal. We did press kits. We put together super fun press kits, just with a little bit of a snippet of the information about the company, and then some goodies like some of their hot products, super funny, like corn cob jokes, because who doesn't love corn at the State Fair? So anyway, these press kits, we actually got great responses. We do have contacts in the media, so it's nice now they know who we are, we know who they are. But we actually got our client on every single channel in the Twin Cities for TV coverage. So again, if you've got an announcement, if you have, some news that you should share, it's definitely worth doing a press release. It's free. You send it out to the media, you send it to media contacts. It does take some time, I'll be honest. You have to make sure you know what contacts at, what media channel to hit up. But really, if somebody picks up on your story, they run it on the news station or magazine or paper online for free. You can also push your press release out there to some online channels. I put on here newswire.com and PR Newswire, if anybody has heard of those. But for like a flat fee, I don't want to say it might be like $300 or $500. They actually will publish it online on different internet sites that are relevant to your business. Any questions about press and media before we move on? All right.
Okay, next subject is branding and graphic design, elevating your brand. And so this is just some examples of some brands that we've helped with, as well as we're just going to quickly go through this list of stuff here. We obviously are biased because we do all this, but we really, really, really recommend that if you're going to do a logo or you're going to set up your brand, you hire a graphic designer or a company that can help you do this. And the reason for that is because this is the first thing everybody's going to see about your brand. And so if you've got a Andy Rausch sketch of your logo and that's what you're using, you're probably not going to get a lot of business. But if you have somebody that designs a graphic design off of that sketch, it's another thing. So the other part of this is consistent messaging and theme. So many times we see customers have a logo and then they decide to change the logo or they decide to change their theme. And then all of a sudden they've got multiple logos out there or multiple mission statements or multiple websites. And it just gets very confusing for your customer. Keep it fresh, keep it updated. New launch, new logo, excuse me, keep it fresh and updated. This one's kind of fun because from a marketing standpoint, you have to be very creative and that's what we like to do. And so when you do this and you make it fresh and updated, get rid of the old. We worked with a customer recently that rebranded themselves completely, and then we go to their trade show with them and we find out that they're handing out their old logo and their old branding and stuff because they had all this old stuff that they still had in the closet. Well, we got to get rid of it.
Emily's shaking her head because she knows exactly that's the wrong thing to do. But we all hate to throw away money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They probably had a lot of money invested in
They
it.
did. And so, but it's still, it was, and they're like, well, no, these are customers that know that we've rebranded and everything. It doesn't matter. You have to stay with your new brand and your new logo. Launch new logo for services. So one of the things that this is kind of cool. If you look up in the top middle, you see the little car. Lindy Steakhouse, really good friends of ours and one of our clients. COVID hits, their restaurant has to shut down. They have to come up with a takeout and delivery. So we didn't want to change their logo. We don't want to change their theme and everything. But because it's a new service that they're doing takeout and delivery, we designed a red car off of the owner's original Porsche. His dad owned a Porsche way back in, I don't know what year, but we kind of designed this little car that kind of, and so we push out this little character car for all their takeout and delivery. It's okay to do that kind of stuff. And again, it's bright, new, it's fresh, that kind of stuff. Marketing materials, business cards. If your website is designed this way, you don't go design your business card marketing material this way. Keep them all in the same ball field, I like to say. Same theme, same messaging. Keep everything looking the same. Branded merchandise, same thing here. And I always like to use the example of pens. A lot of people like to hand out pens. If you're buying a pen at 2 cents because you got a great deal and you hand it out and it doesn't work or it falls apart in the person's hand, really doesn't give you a good feel for that company because they don't take, they're just looking for a cheap little marketing thing. So I really tell everybody, take the time and the effort and make it look nice. If you're buying a shirt or a vest or a hat, make it look nice. Again, this is all stuff that is your brand and who you are. We've had clients that, it's hard for them because they're like, well, I can get this pen much cheaper or I can get this hat much cheaper. That's just, it's not the right way to go. Website design, again, it's your first thing. Anytime, if you think about yourself, if you're looking for a car mechanic or if you're looking for, maybe it's, you just moved in the area and you're looking for a school and Holy Spirit is going to come up. That's going to be the first thing that they see. 90% of all customers is the first thing they're going to see is your website. So make sure it really is a consistent message and theme for who you are and what you believe in. And that goes right down to the pictures you put on there. How many websites have people been on and the pictures on there are blurry or out of view or taken by their iPhone? Yes, they're great pictures. Yeah, Emily's over there gagging. I'm serious. It's just, this is your brand, and I can't stress it enough. Make sure that it fits your mission, your values, your vision, and then what is your value proposition? So I worked for Target for many years, and for many years, everybody thought we needed to go after Walmart. And I just remember the CEO that was there for 20 some years that took Target from 600 stores to 1,900 stores. And he just kept saying, we don't care what Walmart does. Yes, we're going to build across the street from them, but we are high end at a great price. And that's what we're going to focus on. We are not going to be a cheap product. We're not doing anything that. I don't care if they beat us in toilet paper every day. That's not who we are. We want the mother that's got multiple kids that's coming in here and wants an experience. And they stayed with it. And everything that you see to this day, up until the new CEO came and went to Canada, but that's a whole other story, is all about that fresh, clean, great experience, fast, fun, and friendly, all that fun stuff. So that's enough on that. Questions?
I have a comment. I think one of the most important things about your messaging and your brand and the image that you portray, somebody actually gave me this advice a few years ago. And at first I was like, what do you mean? She said, whatever you do, just be intentional. And ever since then, it really stuck with me because I always think about it and I'm like, she was right. I mean, you need to be intentional with your message, your value proposition. I mean, one day you can't sell cheap iPhones, and then the next day you want to be the most, valued iPhone dealer in the Twin Cities. So you have to be very intentional. And once you write a mission statement and a vision statement, and that's really how you drive your business. And then your employees are on board as well with your internal vision statement. And that's how you make your decisions going forward. And it just makes sure that everybody is on the same page.
Can I bring up a question or maybe a statement? I don't know. Do you work on trying to do product market fit? Because I think for me, that's been a huge challenge and also helped me identify who's my real client.
Yeah, we do some research. If you're looking at like, who is my customer? There's a lot of different things we would look at in terms of who your customer is today, what your message is, and then who's your potential customer, or, who are you really trying to reach? I have a slide a little bit later on a client. We realized that 20% of his business to his website, traffic to the website, was from outside of the United States. We're like, oh, hello, wake up call. Nobody's marketing your product outside of the United States. So in terms of your product fit, yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's more about strategizing on your product, who your customer is, and marketing it, and then making sure that you have the right message to hit that target market, right? Yeah, great point. All right. Next is digital advertising. So digital advertising, I really like to talk about paid advertising as well as free advertising, because there's a lot of things you can do. And there's a couple of things on this list that I would say, I hope you're all doing right now. If not, after we get off the call, you should probably go do them. Some are super easy. But it's all about digital advertising. You want to strategize, making sure that you know, you plan, and then you advertise, and then you analyze. Were our campaigns successful? Did we hit our mark? Did we hit our goal? How do we improve? Do we need to do more testing A/B next time with a campaign theme or a title? So a couple things on this list: website SEO, content, keywords, phrases. We can talk more about this when we get to the website, but really, when people are on Google searching for products and services, we hope that you would make a list of 25 keywords that you want to be found for on Google. So if you're in health insurance, you're going to want to be known for health insurance. But what are the other keywords that people are also searching for? Those keywords should be used on your website, of course, in your marketing, but also in your advertising. So those keywords will be critical to use if you do any kind of advertising on Facebook or Google or things like that. Online business listings, this is one that I'm really passionate about. And I put on here voice search because a lot of people have a Google business listing. Please make sure it's optimized. We have clients that are getting 15,000 views on images, on photos every month. So there's beautiful images you can put on there. There's a lot of content. There's reviews. I think we've got so if you guys can see this little pop-up screen, it's a little bit stretched out, but this is a Google landing page. We did a Google search for a new handyman service, my Go-To Pro. This image right here on the right is their Google business listing. This is free. I think most of you have it. We kind of peeked around before our call, and I think most of you have a business listing. So the image here that just popped up shows you, we've got nice images. We've got a location. We've set to what is our service area. That's really important, because if somebody has their phone and says, hey, I need a handyman service near me, this is going to pull up. We've got reviews on here. You can read a review. You can read several of them. And then really nice photos. So please make sure you're taking advantage of the free business listings. Yelp is another one. My advice would be sign up on Yelp, get your business listing as optimized as possible, but don't pay to advertise unless you're a restaurant. Yelp actually feeds to Apple Maps Connect. So if you have an iPhone, voice search is like tenfold right now and will continue to be important. So Alexa, Siri, iPhone. If you have, for iPhone, you want to make sure that you have a business listing on Apple Maps Connect is what it's called. So please make sure you have that. It's, again, these are free and super easy to use. Google Analytics and Google Console, I've got a couple reports I'll just run through with you. Google Ads and online ads. Again, I've got a slide that I can kind of talk through. Really great way, for the most part, free, unless you have like over 5,000 in your database, then you might have to pay if you use like MailChimp or Constant Contact, but a really great way to keep in touch with your customers. We want to make sure that we're engaging with our customers, always bringing them to the website, but don't just send emails, you know, that are boring. You have to have some engaging content with a call to action.
Storytelling.
Yeah, there you go. There's your storytelling. Facebook and social media advertising, again, really important right now. I do have a slide on that. Social media linking with your website. You do want to make sure that your social media links are on your website. And when you're posting on your social media, always having links to your website. Google actually will give more relevance to websites that have social media channels, especially YouTube, because Google has purchased YouTube. So I'm not suggesting you all have a YouTube page unless it would make sense for your business. Reviews and testimonials, word of mouth marketing, we touched on that a little bit, but again, free and really, really important. 9 out of 10 people will actually ask somebody for a referral or their advice on a product or service if it's an expensive product or service before they actually make a purchase. So please be putting your reviews and testimonials on your website and social media channels. I'm just going to touch briefly. Andy's telling me to hurry up because I'm looking at the clock. Yeah, we can always have conversations offline afterwards too if anybody has questions or wants to do a deep dive. Google Analytics, hopefully you have this on your website. It's just a tracking code, but it gives you all sorts of data, more data than you could ever imagine. I'm kind of a data geek, so I love Google Analytics, but you can find out who's coming to your website, what else they're interested in, like their demographics. Not only where they live, what are they interested in, what other websites have they been on, like are they in the housing market or are they in the education market? So tons of data from Google Analytics, and then you find opportunities for, oh, maybe we do have customers elsewhere.
The other piece to Google Analytics that's really important, somebody wanted to know more about email. Paul, you wanted to know about, or who was it about? Email campaigning and marketing. Let's say you send out an email to a bunch of your people and then you come and you can't figure out where they're going or what they're doing and it brings them back to the website. Google Analytics can actually track and figure out where people are going. So all of a sudden you see that they go to your homepage and then they get off. Well, that's probably telling us that there's some sort of messaging on your homepage that's not there to keep them active. Or maybe they're clicking from there and then you're selling something and they go to checkout and we lose them in checkout. Why are we losing them in checkout? So Google Analytics is really key to helping you follow your customers and figure out where they're going and what's going on. And then it allows us to help you identify maybe there's some things that we have to fix. We had a customer that couldn't figure out why people weren't buying. And sure enough, we quickly looked at it and found out that it was too many steps to buy the product. And so we've shortened that and now his sales are doing a little bit better.
Yeah. This is just a chart, another chart from Google Analytics, but it shows you how many people are on the website, how many pages they looked at, how many pages per session, unique users, the bounce rate. I mean, so we can tell the health of the website too. And if your bounce rate is too high, well, we know that there might be issues somewhere like Andy was just mentioning. And then where are they coming from? So it really gives us an insight into who's coming to the website, right? In terms of Google advertising, we do Google advertising for clients. It also will advertise on other platforms, including like YouTube and different things. So these are keyword search ads and display ads. This is a client we did Google advertising for since February. We've spent $8,300, but their problem is that they can't hire enough service people, and it's a very niche industry. So we were very specific on the Google advertising. We only went after keywords that were very specific to the job. So the cost per click might be a little bit higher. If you think $1.90 per person coming to the website feels high, it's really not, because it's a really unique niche job. We're being very intentional with who we're going after. So we're targeting, 100 miles around each location with demographics. Over the year, 530,000 impressions on the ads. 4,400 people actually clicked on the ads, which is great. So this is a little bit, just a snippet of some of the opportunities for digital marketing for Google. Normally, like $500 the minimum spend is about right per month on Google. I know some realtors might be spending $1,500 a month on digital advertising, just as an example. So it does take a little bit of money. It takes some time. The Google ads really kind of, the algorithms, they get better over time. So you don't want to just set it up for a week. They do better if you set them up for 60 to 90 days, and then, you can keep editing it.
For this customer, real quick, it was, Tanya mentioned the $1.90, and they spent $8,000 on it. But that got them 527,000 people to see their website, or to see their advertising for this opening, and 4,000 people clicked on it and applied and found out more about the position. So they almost jumped up and down when they saw these numbers, and they filled their positions in multiple markets off of this ad, which, we're not in the side of business of recruiting and what you pay for recruiters out there and that kind of stuff, but they were ecstatic with the how well this turned out for them. So you don't always have to have Google ads to sell a product. It could be you might have an opening.
Yeah. Facebook and social media advertising, of course, is another way to reach customers. I know, Christian, you did have a question too on social media and marketing tips. So Facebook and Google, everybody keeps changing their algorithms, and they want to kind of squash businesses. They don't want us to be promoting on Facebook. They want Facebook to be about relationships and people. So we can address your question. This is one campaign that we did for a client. We actually had them on Twin Cities Live, and we boosted a video and had 33,000 people see the video, whether, in their Facebook feed. 3,400 people actually watched the entire video. We only paid $100 for the ad. So that's 3 cents per person viewing the entire video. So really amazing results. We only ran it for 8 days, but really a great way. I mean, the product is new to the market. We're trying to get more exposure out there for the client. And this is just using some local TV media. And again, with Facebook, you can set up your demographics and get everything too. There's a little bit of a science behind it, but yeah, if you have not tried Facebook advertising, you may want to try it if your demographic or your customer is a Facebook customer. Again, they might be on TikTok, maybe they're younger, or Instagram or YouTube or a different social media channel.
And again, that's knowing your customers, which is what we already talked about. But, if you're trying to get, an 18-year-old interested in your product and putting it on Facebook isn't probably going to work. Because that group is no longer really looking at Facebook. Same with if you're trying to get to somebody who's a little bit older, it might not be the best thing to do is do Instagram or Twitter because they just don't have those accounts. So knowing your customer base is really huge, and then through the social media, making sure you understand which one you want to use and how you want to use it. The last thing we have is website design. Creating beautiful websites in e-commerce. Website is frequently the first impression, which I've already talked about. Again, can't emphasize it enough. If your website doesn't represent your vision and who you are, get it changed. It's the first thing that people see. Design stylized to reflect your brand. Increase online visibility and drive customer engagement to your website. This is where that Google Analytics helps, and understanding how people are engaging with your website, tracking them, following them, through your website to understand if you've got the right information and that kind of stuff. If somebody's clicking on your about page and then all of a sudden they're disappearing, something on your about page they don't like, or and obviously you're not going to make a big change on one person, but if all of a sudden you start seeing a trend there. SEO, search engine optimization. It's a lot easier to say SEO. This can be all the wording that Tanya talked about. So thinking of your business and then think about how you would search for your business and coming up with those keywords, making sure that they're in your front end, all over your content and on your pages and that kind of stuff in your website. And then there's things called meta tags and meta descriptions in the back end that your IT person can put in. So that if you're a photographer company, Kate, you want to make sure that you have photography listed in there. Or if you're doing weddings for Matson Photography, then you want to make sure that weddings is listed on your content and it's in the back end as well. Or if it's senior pictures or whatever the case might be. You want to make sure that you have a prominent call to action and it's customized lead forms and contact information. And then I'm going to jump to the next one, above the fold. For us that are my age and around my age, you understand what above the fold probably means. And that's going back to the old newspapers that used to come to your door a lot. Anything big deal today, the inauguration would be on above the fold. It's above the first page fold. When that paper folds over, that's what's going to be everybody shouts. In our world, the website, it's everything that's on your laptop screen. So when someone clicks to your website, that's the above the fold. Whatever's there is what you want to shout about your company. And so on that side of things, you want to make sure there's a call to action. Buy my pen, learn more about me, and have them being click and interactive above the fold is really key. Making sure it's mobile friendly. I can't remember. Do you remember the stat? How many people are on mobile?
Yeah, mobile today. Oh, the stat. Mobile today is like 55% of people. They are looking, they're searching, they're doing product searches on mobile. So mobile at first, when we develop websites, we always develop for mobile first technology. We want to make sure that it really looks great on your phone, but as well as the desktop, right? But mobile is really becoming the most important piece when you're building websites.
And a lot of people forget about that, or their current website today isn't mobile friendly. And so you're missing an opportunity. Again, they say that you have about 2 to 3 seconds to make an impression on somebody. So if I'm searching on my phone and your website comes up and I can't even see what your first page looks like because it's only showing me a quarter of the page because it's not mobile friendly, it doesn't shrink down and go to the mobile size. People are skipping you and they're moving on to the next website that they can read and find all the information they need. Cross marketing, we didn't really talk a lot about. So real quick, this is kind of going back to making sure that if you're in the, you're a business in White Bear, joining the chamber and getting your website on their website. If you're an industry and there's an industry magazine or an industry website, getting your website on there. Because again, Google will rank your business as, holy cow, this company is getting a lot of links from other companies or from other things like chambers and that kind of stuff. It ranks you up higher when people are searching for an insurance company. And that's called cross marketing, getting your website linked from different websites. And then, like all technology, I know when my kids always sit there and say they need the iPhone 11 right now, I think it's called, because it's the greatest and newest thing. I always look at them and go, yeah, and next month it's the iPhone 12. And that's kind of how you have to look at your website. Your website's really cool and awesome right now, and it works great. 4 years from now, it's going to be slow. It's not going to be as interactive. It's not going to have all the new cool things. So we really recommend you're refreshing your site every 4 to 6 months, 6 years, months. That'd be spendy. So that's it, folks. That's kind of where we're at. We can skip the review. I mean, we went through all these balls bouncing. Contact information is right there. And obviously our website, feel free to jump on there. So now we're at the last part, which is questions. And we're just going to unshare our